In a world of ever-increasing complexity, we've come to rely on specialists, experts with deep knowledge in their chosen fields. But what if the future belongs to a different breed, the generalist? And what if the key to unlocking their potential lies in artificial intelligence? Specialization has its advantages, but there are inherent limitations. Knowledge silos, difficulty adapting to change, and blind spots where different disciplines intersect. Now, imagine AI not as a replacement for human intelligence, but as a powerful tool for the generalist. AI that can digest vast amounts of information, identify patterns, and bridge the gaps between specialized fields. A doctor armed with AI can access the latest medical research, analyze patient data in real time, and even simulate surgical procedures. An engineer with an AI collaborator can draw insights from disparate fields, finding innovative solutions that no single specialist could envision. This isn't just about individuals, it's about reshaping how we work. Cross-disciplinary teams empowered by AI will tackle problems of unprecedented complexity. We will see the breakdown of traditional job categories, and the rise of a more fluid, adaptable workforce. In a world defined by accelerating change, the most valuable skill will be the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn. AI will become the ultimate teacher, guiding us through a constant process of self-improvement. Are specialists destined to become obsolete? No. But the future belongs to those who can harness the power of both specialization and generalization. It's the age of the AI-augmented generalist, ready to solve the world's most complex problems. Are you ready to embrace this transformation?
Tobias had grown accustomed to the mockery. It followed him like a stubborn shadow. There goes Toby, the jack of all trades, master of none. The snickers and jeers of villagers, adventurers, and even knights of the realm had worn at him, but they never truly broke him. Born with a restless spirit and an insatiable curiosity, Tobias never settled on one calling. He'd tried it all. A day or two as a blacksmith, learning the rhythmic clang of a hammer on hot iron. A week in the kitchens, the aroma of spices filling his nostrils as much as his mind. He dabbled in alchemy, captivated by the sizzle of strange potions, and even took a crack at bardic magic, though his voice cracked more often than it soared. Each skill, each profession felt like a key meant for another man's lock. Tobias's fingers were clumsy at first with each new endeavor, but he was relentless. He'd spend long hours at every pursuit, doggedly climbing the initial steep curve of learning. He'd become good enough, then wander off to something else. The world of adventuring embraced this, in its own way. Parties often needed a bit of everything, someone to cobble together a healing draft, fix a busted weapon, or sing a quick tune to raise spirits. Tobias filled that role, never excelling, but becoming reliable, useful. Then came the level system. Oh, it had existed in whispers, a concept governing the growth and progression of skills. But when the great crystal monoliths appeared at the heart of every major city, the game had begun in earnest. Each class, each profession, offered tangible levels to climb. Suddenly, Tobias's way of life seemed more like madness than simply restless. He ignored the shift as best he could, carrying on with his odd patchwork of abilities. Until the whispers of the monolith in the village square proved impossible to ignore. Friends, allies, the very people he'd patched up, mended for, and sung for, they spoke excitedly of their rising levels. The blacksmith reached level 10, then 15, the rhythmic clang taking on a resonance Tobias never quite managed. Each villager, it seemed, found their calling, growing stronger with every level gained. And him? Still the jack, still good enough, yet stuck. The crystal monolith recognized his dabbling and offered him the class, Onion Knight. The name became a cruel joke. Onion, referencing the layered nature of his experience, thin in any true discipline. He reached level 30, then 50, then 70. The grind was slow, the progress minuscule. The party that called him friend slowly drifted. The strong smith could now forge masterwork armor. The baker, once simply content with village bread, conjured pastries that restored strength and stamina. And Tobias? His healing potions were a bit stronger, his sword a bit sharper, never special, always just good enough. Doubt gnawed at him. Was this it? Always one step behind, a shadow, an echo of what his companions had become. Then came level 90. A barrier, it seemed. No amount of grinding seemed to produce experience. Tobias was ready to give up, to fade into comfortable mediocrity. Then, the monolith changed. It glowed with a blinding light, and a voice boomed, not a voice exactly, but something layered on his consciousness. You have endured. You have sought. You have not yielded. In a wash of light and a feeling akin to 1,000 needles under his skin, the transformation came. Class upgrade, master of all trades. The mockery in the tavern seemed to freeze in midair when he arrived the next day. His footsteps on the cobbled floor felt different, lighter yet firm. Level 99, he announced, the words tasting strange and powerful. The blacksmith, now a master, frowned. In what? Tobias grinned. In everything. At first, nobody believed him. Then came the challenges, duels, contests of skill, even riddles of knowledge. Tobias bested them all. Not with some magical burst of power, but with an uncanny knack. His blade work was a whirlwind of forms, none perfected, but all chained together with frightening adaptability. His potions hummed with intricate effects, as if drawn from a dozen alchemical traditions. He wasn't the greatest smith, nor the finest healer, nor the most dazzling bard. But against each specialist, he found their weakness in the gaps their focus had left. The world watched in awe, then fear. He was unstoppable, an AI given form, adapting, learning, countering. His legend grew. No longer was he simply Tobias the Onion Knight, but Tobias the Vanquisher. He never used his power for cruelty. Those he'd once served, the villagers, were protected. Still, the world of classes had been shaken. No longer was blind focus the key, but breadth balanced with depth. They called it the Tobias Principle. And Tobias himself? He kept on wandering. Now, his quest wasn't for a singular skill, but for the sheer joy of experience itself. For the master of all trades still had much to learn.